Hi guys, I'm Rebecca and welcome to class. So in this class we're going to be focusing on working towards King Cobra and bow pose. I've put these classes together as mini workshops, working on things that I've had a lot of requests and questions about. So it will be a mixture of drills, tips, and a little bit of flow and some fun transitions. So I really hope you like it. And as always, if you have questions, just send me a message and let me know how you're getting on. So for this class, you're going to need between 2 to 4 blocks, a strap, and some wall space. And when you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to start in a kneeling position, Caesar meditation or Japanese style meditation. So I'm going to take the top of my right foot onto the sole of my left foot and come into a kneeling position. So let's just take a moment to connect to the space. So close your eyes and take the hands over your knees, the palms facing down for grounding earth energy. Just taking a moment to scan your body from head to toe. So being aware of how you physically feel today. Visualizing that you have a torch starting right at the crown of the head, working its way down the spine. And just being aware of any areas where the body feels a little bit tight or stuck. And then we're going to use our breath and direct it into these areas. So visualize that as you breathe in, you're expanding any areas of the body that feel a little bit tight or lethargic. And then visualize that as you breathe out, you can let go. So letting go of any physical tension, letting go of any expectations, any to-do lists, and any judgments. Just setting aside this next hour or so for yourself. And anytime you feel stuck in the pose, just use your breath to create space. Visualizing how the breath supports the movement. So how when you breathe in, everything expands, and how when you breathe out, everything softens and lets go. We'll then take our hands together in prayer and just set an intention for the practice to have a sense of fun with it, to find a sense of peace with it, and just to approach it like a child with a sense of play, knowing that when we play, we're present, and this to me is the reason that I teach and I practice. Thank you so much for joining me, lots of love, and namaste. So we're going to start with the hands over the knees, and we're just going to get into the neck to begin with. So coming into a neutral position, just start to take the chin down towards the chest, and then look up towards the sky. So we'll just do this a few times, noticing any points in the neck that feel a little bit trapped at all. And again, just trying to keep the rest of your body in a relatively neutral position. We're then going to start to take the upper back into this movement. So lift up your chest like there's a piece of string attached to it. Lift up your head, gazing towards the sky. And then round your shoulders and draw the navel in towards the back of the spine, chin towards the chest. So again, we're just articulating the upper back. So lifting your chest up and start thinking about this action of pulling, like you're pulling your hands back towards your hips, as this is what's going to support us in our full cobra. And again, round, protracting the shoulders and pushing away. So just working a few more times here, lifting your chest like it's being pulled up towards the ceiling, rounding and pushing away. Let's just do one more. So taking your time with it, sliding the hands back towards the hips, lifting your chest up, looking up, then rounding, protracting the shoulders and pushing away. Okay, let's start to take the rest of the back along for the ride. So pull your hands against the knees. Imagine that you're trying to get your elbows to touch your hips, lifting up the chest, gazing towards the ceiling, and then rounding the spine, pushing away. The head drops down last. So again, arching the spine, drawing your elbows back towards the hips. Again, think of this action of pulling your chest through your arms, which is something I repeat a lot this class. And then round the spine, protract the shoulders and push away. One more time. So pull yourself through your arms, lifting up the chest, and then round the spine and push away. We're going to make these waves a little bit bigger now. So arching the spine, piking at your hips, squeezing your ribs towards the thighs. Keep your head lifted, looking forward like you're trying to peer over the edge of your mat at something interesting. We're then going to round the spine, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, head lifts up last. So a couple more times like this. Again, arching the spine, piking at the hips, lower down, keeping the gaze forward, rounding the spine, coming up lower back, middle back, upper back, head lifts up last. Let's just do one more like this. So again, arching the spine, pike at the hips, rolling yourself down, then rounding and waving yourself back up. We're now going to reverse this movement. So pretend that your head is a spoon and that you're scooping up your favourite flavour ice cream. Round your spine, protract the shoulders. We're then going to pull ourselves through our legs. So dropping the head down, pulling yourself through, arching the spine, lifting your chest and coming back up, gazing at the ceiling. So again, chin tucks towards the chest, round the spine, scoop yourself through your legs, gliding through, rolling up to a kneeling position, and keep sliding the elbows back towards the hips. One more time, rounding the spine, pulling yourself through, lifting up your chest, bringing yourself up to a kneeling position. Keep pulling the hands against the knees, and then just bring yourself back into neutral. Okay, let's start to make bigger waves. So I always love to do waves when I'm working on back bends, as not only do they look good and feel great in your body, but they help you to identify parts of the spine that feel a little bit stuck or trapped. So we're articulating each part of the spine here. So your toes are together, the knees are apart. Keep your child's pose active so you're not collapsing down. And again, think of this action of pulling the hands back towards you. We're then going to start the wave from the lower back. So lifting up your lower back, middle back, coming through a cat position. Then start to push your hips down. Use your feet a lot. So press through the tops of the feet and think of sliding the hands back towards the hips, making sure your pubic bone is down and the feet don't come out too wide. We're then going to continue to pull ourselves down all the way to the ground. Forehead drops down. Then from this position, look up with your head like you're a snail peeping out of a shell. Press into your feet, squeeze your thighs in, start to peel yourself off the ground into a cobra. Again, pubic bone down, straighten out the arms as much as you can, glide the hands back towards the hips. We then tuck the chin towards the chest, round through the spine, coming through a cat position, and draw yourself back into a child's pose. 2 more times like this. So rounding and waving forward, lower back, middle back, upper back, pushing the pubic bone down, sliding the hands back towards the hips, lifting your chest, and then continue to pull yourself all the way down to the ground. Again, press into the feet, keep them active, look up with your head, peel yourself off the mat. If you need to walk your hands further forward, you can do. We then go chin to chest, round through the shoulders, and push back into a child's pose. One more time. Waving forward. Again, think of this action of pulling yourself towards the front of the mat, dropping down, lifting the chest, seeing if you can look back for your feet, lying all the way down onto your mat. Then look up with your head, pull yourself all the way up through your cobra, chin to chest, round through the spine, and push it back. Okay, let's start to play with some different variations of waves here. So I'm going to wave myself through to an angry cat position. I'm then going to arch my spine, lift my chest up, glide my hands back towards my hips, and from this position, bend your knees and think of squeezing your heels towards your butt, like you're trying to tap your butt with your heels. Keep the heels here and then start to push yourself back all the way into a child's pose. So let's do this 2 more times. I'm waving myself forward into an angry cat pose, then arching the spine, lifting the chest, trying to kick my own butt with the heels, slide the hands back, and then push myself back into a child's pose. Let's do 1 more of these. So round and wave forward into your cat, Arch the spine. This time bend the knees, flex the feet to begin with, and we're going to pulse the heels towards the butt for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Then point the toes, try to tap your heels to your butt, pull yourself back, holding it here, and then glide yourself all the way back to the mat. Nice. Wave yourself forward, push your hips down, lift your chest, glide yourself all the way down to the mat. Okay, so this time, tuck your toes underneath. I'm just going to put my mic to the side because it kind of always squishes me when I film this bit. So from this position, tuck underneath your toes, roll over your knees and stick your bum up into the air. So we're coming into an 8-angle pose. Then push yourself back all the way into a child's pose. So again, wave yourself forward, coming into a cat. We're then going to go chest and chin down towards the ground. Think of sliding the hands again back towards the hips, and then push yourself back into a child's pose. One more time here, and we're going to add on from it. So wave yourself forward into a cat. Then from this position, send your shoulders past the fingertips, lower down, coming down into an 8-angle pose. So from here, interlace the hands behind your back, pointing the thumb and the index finger, and think of lifting the arms up and over in this position. You can either stay here, or if it feels comfortable, you can bend the knees and reach for the toes and press the heels in towards the butt. Just holding it here for a moment because we're going to come back to this pose. Then relax the feet down, and again from this position, just push yourself back into a child's pose. Okay, awesome. So now lower your forearms down. Imagine that you're going to slide through a tunnel. So you don't want your head and your back to touch. Squeeze your elbows in towards your ribs and then pull yourself through and come to lie down on your mat. Awesome. Okay, so from here we're going to do a